Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Ware Board of Selectmen for July, I believe today's the 19th, all day. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Which brings us to public comment. The public at large, here he comes.
Thank you. Frank Campana, Quaker Street. Two things, I'll limit myself to two things tonight. If you recall, I'm pretty sure it was your last meeting, I didn't go back to check the minutes. I made a comment on the federal government and the American Recovery Act
something, yeah.
money, and my suggestion was to, let the public know how you're gonna spend it, and, let's not obligate the taxpayers to something that they don't know about. Well, this happened to be July 15th, and some of it doesn't apply to here, because it's the city of Manchester. But the mayor there, she proposed spending money for the American Rescue Plan. And most of the programs are funded for the next 5 years. Again, I'm not sure if it, applies here or not. So what she's proposing to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, I think, is how to spend the money, because it's being paid for by the government for 5 years. Well, what happens after 5 years? I made the comment, the schools, they start programs with grants, and then it becomes the taxpayers' responsibility, and they don't have the taxpayers don't have an input on it, in it. Manchester residents overwhelmingly cited education, allocated, look forward to working with the mayor. They expressed higher education for public schools. Again, some of this doesn't apply, to you folks, but this may. And to support local workforce needs. Well, that leaves a pretty open blank for you folks. Could be hiring people, could be giving raises, mid-year. That's happened before from the board. So that just kind of follows what I said about obligating the taxpayers without them having a say.
If I may on that one, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be having very open discussions about that once the money actually lands. I know I've put forth the request, and I hope it's gonna happen, that we get like a wish list from all the departments, and we'll be discussing all of that.
Yeah.
And it can't be used for reducing taxes. I don't
Right,
think it can be used on education. I don't
No,
know.
They get their own
They
money.
get their own.
a separate-
That's why I say, when I read that, I said, some of this doesn't apply, apply to you folks. But, so anyway, it just kind of follows my thinking of that public comment back then. My second public comment is probably a week before last, I went to the highway department, and I needed some stones. I handpicked some stones. I have a little gully in front of the house getting kind of washed out. Most of it's grassed in, but in anticipation of all the rain that we were going to get, I wanted to handpick some stones just to, slow down the water a little bit. So I've never had to do it before, but I took the caution. I went in to see Joe, and I told him, I says, I'd like to go out back and, pick a 5-gallon bucket of stones, just to, let somebody know that I was there. He said, sure, go ahead. So I did. And as I drove down back where the old shooting range, or the shooting range was, there was the dresser grader, which I've asked Benji about, and, he's still going to keep it. I guess it's, got some use to it. But behind that, with grass growing up, there was the radar trailer. And not a lot of money, but so on June June 15th meeting, 2020, that's when the police chief came in and spoke about getting a radar trailer.
June
For-
15th of 2021 or 2020?
Last year.
2020, okay.
Yeah, 15th, yeah, last year, so June last year. So anyway, I was sitting here listening to it also, and as you were. So it was a $400 purchase from an auction, might have come from the Massachusetts State Police through an auction. Sergeant Monpleasure inspected it prior to purchasing. There's only a jack missing, a couple of door locks, an easy $8 fix, as the police chief seemed to indicate. And as you well know, Montpleasure was, painting it up, stripping it down, painting it up, et cetera, et cetera. It will be up and running in under 30 days. Well, this is a year ago now, almost a year ago. And Chairman Hippler, you were chairman back then. You asked about the batteries, and are they new ones? Or asked the shape of the batteries, and then you made the comment, new ones can run $700. Okay, so there's an expense. Chief Moore responded, it is working. He doesn't know how old they are. In any event, with new batteries, it's a steal. Selectman Van asked about a new one. There wasn't a dollar amount known, which is fine. But the police chief said that Chief Moore responded that, they are in the thousands, not $400. I know that, is what he said. So then there was another cost of about $300 to get a vehicle set up for towing it. So like I said, it's not a lot of money, but my point is, all right, there was a presentation to the selectmen for an expenditure, all right? And that expenditure is sitting down way in the back of the highway department with grass growing up around it, okay? If somebody says, if somebody in government, well, really it can apply to anybody, but I'm talking about government. If somebody says something, all right, and they want to be believed, they should be believable, all right? This is not believable. I don't know, maybe you folks know, and I'm not looking for an answer because I know you don't like, you don't, particularly want to answer, and that's fine. But I don't know that I ever saw the trailer up and running anywhere. Probably two sides to having the piece of equipment. But, but again, to me, it's junk if it's just sitting there. So what I mean, it's not a lot of money, but the person that was presenting it and the board that approved it, you made a bad choice at my expense. And that's all I have.
Frank?
Thank you very much.
Okay. No other public in the room to have comment, so.
Casper the Ghost?
We'll say, yeah. We'll say that's closed.
Round two, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this time, I'd like to observe a moment of silence for a departed resident, Don Rogers. He did a lot for this town, and like I said, he will be deeply missed by everybody at voting time and everybody that, anybody that knew him, definitely. Don was a stand-up guy, so observe a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. No department head committee items that I see. Okay. Brings us to the manifest. Move to order treasurer to sign payroll accounts payables checks dated July 22nd as included in the following manifest.
Payroll manifest of $67,325.47 for weekly and monthly payroll. Accounts payable manifest of $22,612.11 for a total of $89,937.58. The following manifest previously ordered to be signed at the June 28th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. A payroll manifest of $62,726.61 for weekly payroll, checks dated 7/8. Accounts payables of $77,104.23 for checks dated 7/8. A payroll manifest of $65,730.94 for weekly payroll, checks dated 7/15. Accounts payable manifest of $22,231.15 for checks dated 7/15. And a supplemental accounts payable manifest of $44,739.89 for checks dated 7/15. As there's no selectmen's meeting scheduled for Monday the 26th, further order treasurer to sign payroll checks dated July 29th, estimated to be about $75,000. And furthermore, to order the treasurer to sign up to the amount of $80,000 for accounts payables that cannot wait until next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts will be reported to the Board of Selectmen by inclusion in the manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All right, brings us to our minutes. It'll take me a minute to find mine. I only got,
You get 2 sets.
awesome. I'll have to go find them. I thought I was on top of it, and I only got last week's, so.
Well, the first set you guys didn't get, or you got it like
Late.
late.
Yeah.
You opted to table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I downloaded the second ones. I didn't download this one. There's the agenda. Minutes. Oh, that ain't the right one. Maybe I don't have them.
Go to the website.
Oh, these are them right there. Anything on page 1? Two. Three. Four. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as read.
I'll second it. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
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 All right, and that brings us to the next one, which, this one I did download. I remember doing that. Okay. Page 1. This one's quite long. Page 2. Three. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Move to approve the 28th minutes as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Brings us to the administrator's report.
You guys all should have a copy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with the top, I guess, general items. Not gonna touch base on everything. John had asked me for an update on the radio, so I'll go right to the radio communication. Homeland Security's next grant round won't be open. She doesn't have a date till late fall. And she said that it's announced through the fire, PD, EMS contacts, as well as the webpage and HSEM field reps. So I've kind of bookmarked it, and I'll keep an eye on that. I've asked, I didn't see Chief Azina's on vacation this week.
Okay.
So I've asked Chief Moore to see something,
Okay.
because they do a round every year in the fall. So,
Okay.
the forestry contract, Laura's on vacation till 21st, so we don't have an answer on that. The ARPA funds, which is another part John asked me for, Beth checked into it, and we're supposed to receive $475,866.80 on July 23rd. So we'll see if that comes through. It's supposed to be May first time. So we'll see. Some suggested projects that we've talked about, and I'm not sure that we'll hit a list of top 10, because there's only criteria. The RO water system for all the buildings. We talked about a new AC with HEPA filters and air exchangers for the buildings. And I think the sense of two of the larger department heads that I talked with, that the majority of the money would be a great, probably a project for communication enhancement or upgrades.
One of the things I was thinking about with that, well, we mentioned it, on the 6-7 meeting, the UV lights for decontaminating rooms. I think you were gonna get pricing.
Yeah, I've honestly not got any pricing until we got money, because anybody's quotes only last for 30 days.
Right.
So I've been waiting till we actually got the money in our hand,
Yeah.
Oh, we just
and
put it
then
on
I
the
would
list.
start to do the quotes.
Yeah.
But I kinda had those few things. You know, as you said, we can't spend it on a lot of things.
Yep.
But there's some things that
We definitely
we
can.
do know are coming
Mhm.
down.
Ideally, this is just my opinion, I'd love to be able to use this for like this year and next year. Maybe we can reduce the amount of warrant articles we actually have going forward. Try to help us get a passed budget this year.
Yeah.
I added your UV lights for decontamination. Like I said, I'm gonna wait and see that we actually get
I
the
can't
money.
imagine they're
They're not
a couple grand maybe, I'm guessing?
I think,
Well, I think the fire department got them.
yeah, we got one, and I think I don't even want to open my mouth because I don't
Okay.
remember what it was. It was under 2, though, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I just wrote there that prices will need to be gotten once the money's securely in our hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting quotes too early just doesn't help us.
Now, I guess I have a question about the money.
Yeah.
First part is, where is it going when it arrives? What fund? And B, does it have to be treated as unanticipated revenue?
Some towns are having a public hearing to accept
Okay.
it as
Okay.
unanticipated revenue. You can run it either way. You don't have to put it in a separate account. You can put it in a separate account and earn interest, to my knowledge. Not a separate, like, you have a fund for cash, you have a fund for special revenues, you have a fund.
Right.
I think what we should do, though, is, where we haven't even started doing anything, once we get the money, I think we should have the public hearing.
I agree, and
Because you're gonna get it half next year.
yeah,
So some communities are doing the entire amount that you're supposed to receive. My question to that is, or, I guess I don't have a problem with that, but what if it changes?
right,
Like, if this is half, we're getting more than 900, it looks like we're getting 950.
right,
So,
To piggyback on his question, do we have to use it all within one calendar year?
right.
no, you have till 2024 or 25.
But how, I understand that's how it's written to receive it, but how do you, I mean, because even though it's just a bag of money, isn't that unanticipated revenue,
Yeah.
which has to go in the general fund?
We have to have a public hearing.
Right.
We don't necessarily have to put it in the general fund.
Well, I just want to make sure that all of our avenue is
Right.
paved before it arrives to say, all right, here it is, we're gonna have a public hearing, and it's gonna go in here, and the selectmen are agents to expend whatever, or however it would be.
I think it'd
Well-
be neater if we could have it in its own separate fund.
That's what I
That's
prefer.
what-
Way you could keep track of it better.
Exactly, and
Yes.
it's just transparency for the public too. instead
Right,
of just
it's
going
an
in-
account on that
Yeah.
sheet that says, here's the arc, or, whatever it's fund.
Yeah, I mean,
monies.
you're still gonna get another half, I don't know, if
Right.
it's scheduled for May, it'll probably gonna be July, for the second half. But, the other was a reimbursement, if you remember, the gopher and all that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was actually on a reimbursement basis.
That's fine, yeah.
So this is a little different, I think. You get your money up front, and then you have to then do all the accounting and report to them how you've
Right.
spent it.
Yep.
As Frank has said, we'll keep everybody abreast of how it's spent.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
But I think you should have a public hearing, your first August.
to receive it,
meeting,
yeah,
To receive it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, your next meeting would be August, but,
Can you forward us the,
151 pages?
please,
Or a link to it, maybe?
or a link to it? Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. The do's and the don'ts.
If I can, just one sec. Frank, you mentioned about the speed trailer. If you look at the June 7th minutes, there's a section there, in there where we discuss the speed trailer and the disposition of it. So, believe that's, reading through that should answer some of your questions. Yep.
2021, though.
2021, yeah.
Yeah,
Unanticipated revenue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I think we'll just have our public hearing, I think I'll just do it maybe in 2 public hearings, just so we know what the amount is. I don't wanna have to redo something again.
right.
Do one public hearing to accept it, and then one after we get all the,
No, you
Requests?
do
No, no.
one to accept it, and you listen to the comments, then you accept the whole amount, and you don't have to have a public hearing to expend it.
No.
It's
Okay.
yours to spend.
Right.
So I just.
Okay.
Right.
That's the thought I had for August.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, John and I talked a little bit about this, and I wouldn't be opposed to, you know, using it for warrant articles. You know, a lot of our, I'll call them boilerplate, articles, the truck, you know, for Benji, specifically, is to go along with what Frank was saying, is there's already anticipated continuous tax burden with maintenance, tires, et cetera, with something like that. But, you know, if the possibility is there, and again, this could all change, and maybe it's smaller items, kind of exactly like what we've been talking about with the AC system here. There's already a tax burden of maintenance, servicing them, cleaning them, et cetera, that goes along with it. So, but I think that what we can do is definitely go over a list, kind of like what we've been talking about is I don't want to say a wish list, but a needs list from the department heads.
we
And-
can always review this, the
And review
the
it.
CIP
Yeah,
spreadsheet from last year, too.
correct. Yeah, because they classify, you know, needs, wants, et cetera.
Because
So
we can buy a replacement vehicle off of that, if I understood it correctly.
Right,
ARPA money?
Yes,
I don't think so.
I thought we could, considering it was for, say, a highway truck. That would be infrastructure. We're not adding to the fleet, we're replacing.
or replacing.
yeah.
I guess we really need some detailed
There's
clarification.
5 areas you could use it in. I don't have them off the top of my head.
Right. It's in that 151.
It was broken
That
down in
150
PowerPoint.
pages.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It's
But
in the
there was
151
5
pages.
areas, but it didn't lead me to believe you could use it for that.
Okay.
Well,
We
again,
all need to read it.
I think we all need to read it, at least buzz through it.
I'll find the PowerPoint that was shared too, which
Is-
kind of condensed the information for the
Okay.
151 pages.
Is New Hampshire Municipal weighing in on any of this or no?
Yep.
Okay. They'd be probably a good one to follow because obviously I'm sure that we're not the only town asking what questions,
Asking
where we
questions.
can use
Every
it.
town's getting money, yes?
I believe so.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, those that choose to accept it.
It's being offered to every town, I should say that.
That would make that
Okay.
probably more clear, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would want to definitely see what
Well, let's see the-
ideas are being bounced by the
Let's see the check in here
communities.
first.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about the 151 pages, and then we can make our list. But I still, I mean, I didn't get that out of it. Beth
You mean
and I
Christmas
listened
isn't here yet?
Not
Oh.
quite.
So Beth and I listened
Since
to
July
it.
it
They've had
failed.
a
That's
couple
in
of,
August,
they had a
yeah.
couple of webinars,
It's fine. I
seminars
just,
to listen
again,
to.
I just want to make sure that, you know, what we can and can't use it on, and like I said, I'm sure there's other communities bouncing off NHMA questions
I
like
know
we
one
have right
that I
now.
thought was interesting, I don't need to sidebar, but it was they had got approved for a new building.
Mhm.
And, they were doing the touchless, the bathrooms are pretty much touchless, the
Mhm.
toilets, the sinks,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
hand dryers,
Mhm.
and that is all getting part of it. It's
Oh.
for,
That's cool.
yeah, so they were able to,
Mhm.
I guess, not use as much money.
Yep.
They're
Mhm.
taking it from that, which is a good thing for them.
Mm.
You know, they're setting up the shields and everything ahead of time and making it so that you don't have the contact but they were lucky enough to time it that way, I guess.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think we have a few steps at a time, but I also
Oh,
think you've
absolutely.
got until 24 or 26 to use the money.
All right. Well, that's good.
So, that's in the instructions as well.
Awesome.
I'll say it right now, I'll say it on TV, I'll say it whenever. Tomorrow's my regular day off, but I'm taking the rest of the week for vacation.
Oh, no.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
Hey, time out.
This is not approved.
Time
All
out.
vacations were canceled.
Right, I'll leave you my keys.
No, thank you.
We'll go down to building. Town hall, I haven't had a chance to go back to get a contractor. The town hall sign. I had the DPW clean it up. I guess I thought it looked pretty good until rain hit.
No,
Which one?
Now it's washed
in front of the town
down
hall.
the, down the hill a
What
little
did
bit.
they do with all the plants? Did they do something with them to save them, or? Don't know.
I don't know.
I think it looks a lot cleaner the way it is.
I like it that way.
I like it that way too. Maybe a little bit of bark mulch, maybe a little bit of something around
Well,
it, but I'm
so-
telling you, that looks good.
Well,
So what we're
yeah.
doing, right now is we're talking about landscaping to make it look aesthetically pleasing. Because I too like it wide open. It's such a pretty sign. I just don't want to, but, I'll have to grow a foot to get the top row.
Well, they
Yeah,
got-
I mean, we'll have to do
put
something different
something
there.
there.
Yeah, we'll have to put something
Yeah.
different there, obviously.
Yeah, so, the trustees, Tom went back to the trustees to do something in the front. The thought, he met with Brett Hadley and they talked about cement and some other things, and it wasn't favorable to do the cement. So he's trying to search out a couple of contractors, take them over and just see if there's a better idea. Because you don't need a whole lot. You'd really just come out and around the sign.
Well,
Like a
Because-
retaining wall.
Well,
you know that,
you gotta have some height and width, because the problem before was it was so narrow that
Right.
you were standing like on this, and if you step back 2 inches, you were down, you're gonna be on your back.
well, how do gas stations do it? They got the suction cup. Can we just get a suction cup?
We have a suction cup, we just need a
Suction cup
pole.
on a stick.
That's right. I mean,
So, but-
that's
But
a
it's
real
not-
easy
so let's-
solution.
But, yeah, funny solution, but it's not just that. Think about, you've got that large
I know.
granite piece
Yeah.
that's down, and if you wash all the dirt away, what's gonna hold it
Hold
from,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So, so the thought is to do something like a little bit decorative, maybe a couple feet high,
Yeah.
but just run it back in,
Maybe.
because it's not that much off the ground.
Maybe like those, what are they, like that big, the retaining wall bricks that you get at Home Depot or something?
Yeah, they're looking at granite pieces, they're looking at stone, they're
Yeah.
looking at,
Well,
so.
I think it's in good hands with
So
Tom
Tom is
and-
gonna continue and meet with some landscapers and go back to the trustees.
Yeah, I think it's in good hands with Tom.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to know, I had him clean it up because when I put over the letters, it was just awful.
It looked terrible.
It looked terrible. So when we put the letters up for the patriotic, which we get down, I said to the highway guys, I said, can you just clean it up a little bit? And they
Well, they did.
literally took everything up and raked it down, and it honestly looked nice.
It looks nice, yeah.
But it washed some away, and I just don't want more torrential rain. So we're working on that still. The other three are on hold. The East Street barn,
Somebody's coming this week to take a look at it,
okay.
okay? I've
Well, I
had,
know it was like our hair was on fire for a while, and then we've had torrential rain. There's 4 pieces missing, so the boards must be getting rotted by,
well, they're getting wet,
right.
yeah.
Um,
But I called several people in town here, and they're booked. They're not taking any extras.
Yep.
But I found this other guy, Joshua Ross, I think his last name was, and he said that he'd try to go down this week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and take a quick look at it.
Okay. The East Ware Fire Station, the job you awarded, I had to contact Eversource because as the power comes into the building, it's right by the roof.
Yep.
And they requested that I call and put a sleeve on it.
Yeah, boot, yeah.
So I actually found the right person, and I put it in, and hopefully they'll get it done the next couple of days so Century Roofing can start.
Okay.
So it's about that. R&R has their tripod, which holds all the antennas on top of that roof. Maybe we need to reach out to R&R also, because I think that tripod's bolted to that roof.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I'll have to come off so they can
Yep.
shingle it and then put it
Whi-
back
Which
up.
means that needs to be shut down before anybody touches it.
Right.
R&R, and what'd you call a tripod?
Yeah, the tripod that holds the antenna. The antennas.
Antennas, yeah.
Okay, I knew they were worried about the Eversource.
I don't want anybody getting any RF burns on that
Yeah,
thing.
and I haven't, Riverdale Road, I haven't really done anything more with Benji. Benji's been busy with the floods, so.
Oh.
Yep.
I do, while I have you, Karen sent you guys thing to do with the sign.
Before we go to the signs,
Sure.
I had a quick question back on 6-7. We talked about the plumbing over in the town hall building was having issues.
Yeah, we shut it off. I haven't called anybody to back over.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet, John.
Okay.
Um, town hall. So I sent, is that all?
Yeah, that's all I
Okay,
had.
yep. So, as you can see, there's a little bit of confusion. You probably saw that in the email. So what's happened is, the sign talks about use of sign for a for-profit organization is not permitted. But nonprofits are using it to raise money. You know what I mean? So it's a fine line. Do you understand? So what are we gonna do? It's gonna be a free-for-all for the sign shortly. If it hasn't started already in Karen's email. So, are we going to just let first come, first serve? No matter what? I just don't think, I think we need to have some guidelines.
I thought we went through that sign thing a year or so ago.
We
You
did.
But you also talk about use of sign to promote a for-profit organization's not permitted. As she said here, that she's just, some organizations that ask to use a sign are looking to make money in one form or another. For instance, Osborne Hall, Swiss, they advertise for bingo and the purchasing of flags. Historical Society advertised for the yard sale. John Stark Football has a car show and other fundraisers. Political organizations, the Democrats and Republican committees also do fundraisers. So how do you draw the line
I think
when you designate a nonprofit that creates revenue?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think a nonprofit is still it's non-business, in my mind.
Yeah.
Yes, they may be generating money, but they're generating money for their own activities. They're not trying to go out there and buy the world and trade on the New York Stock Exchange. So, I think that's what we intended was the nonprofits, the 501c3s. or
Well, you can be a
3Cs.
C4.
Yeah.
You can be all sorts of other things too.
Right, exactly, but in that 501 chapter, I think that's what we wanna take preference to, and anything outside of that, I would say, if there's a pecking order, it would be town,
We are
First.
first, yeah.
well, no, us, I understand us first, but like you said, the John Stark, football.
Yep.
That's a town,
It's
a
youth activity.
a town activity, youth activity,
No.
rather than say, the Republican committee or the Democrat committee, that's national, so they
Right.
take a back seat to John Stark, in that kind of order, my
Okay.
thought. That's just my
Town
thought.
affiliated.
So let me
Right.
ask you this, the form also says that the first option's given to the individual organizations renting the town hall. She gave you a great example. The Zumba, we let her use the town hall, but that's for profit. We let her use the sign to advertise it. And then you get somebody that's trying to advertise, she said it in here, just like there's a dance studio that was upset because they were trying to do something too and advertise some dance show.
Well, maybe they used
So-
one side.
But, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I know, it's not easy. We tried to, it's not an easy path. Her and I talked about it for a long time. But one thing I will tell you is, we've decided that her and I, or somebody here, will put the letters up right now.
I agree.
So that's one
That I
thing.
definitely agree with.
Okay.
Because the sign is used so much,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would go along with preference to the renter of the
Okay.
town hall.
Well,
To
I'm
me,
just
To me,
saying,
it's two different, it's almost two different
it's not
enterprises.
every, so you're saying if somebody wanted to rent for a baby shower, you're gonna put it on the sign?
No,
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I mean,
That's what it gets used a lot for.
yeah,
Right.
baby showers and wedding
I don't
showers,
think that that's,
birthdays.
I mean, the only other thing that was a couple of years ago was the rabies clinic. But again, that was something to do with the town, that was us, and that benefited the town, and yes, it was in the hall. To me, it should be to me, should have been given priority over everything else
Yeah.
Yeah.
to put on there.
Yeah.
The Zumba thing, I don't know. I don't think that those two go along together.
No,
The sign and the hall, I don't think they automatically marry together. In my opinion, anyways. I don't know what the rest of the board, but.
I agree with you.
well, a lot of times we'll have something, we've done informational forums here, you know what I mean? Things like that, it's nice to point them in that direction.
Other than the Zumba class, are there any other examples that you can think of
The,
that for a commercial application that it was used for, a for-profit?
what was the one there where they did the scrapbooking?
That's not for profit, though.
That's not for
That's just a
profit.
place to gather that,
Gather,
yeah,
that's all they were
that's
doing.
big enough
Yeah.
for the girls.
Is there any other for-profit that is used?
No, and I think it was just to kind of get the word out, to be honest with you. But I also think that,
I just don't want it to turn into a billboard.
Yeah,
That's my only thing.
It's
a
used,
business billboard.
Yes.
yeah, no, it's not meant for that.
Right.
But I think an easier fix is, like you said, is not necessarily do you,
There's a
If you-
disconnect there.
if you use the town hall,
I mean, because let's face it, I think that the sign is utilized more in the town hall,
right,
in general.
yeah, I agree.
know? So I don't think that those two should couple together automatically anyways.
well, let
It's-
me ask you this, what if you threw your first option for use is given to the individual or nonprofit organization who's renting the town hall? Because for an individual, you wouldn't do a baby shower.
No,
For a nonprofit, if somebody's holding something.
but I think that tried to cover,
Yeah,
like, the rabies clinic. That probably was what that tried to cover.
I don't know what it tried to cover. It's been there for a while.
Well, I don't think that really stands anymore. I think the board just decided that.
The other thing, I think that you shouldn't have organizations that are signing up month after month after month, 6, 8 months out for the whole year.
Why
Should-
not?
Well, I think we decided that. We talked
Beca-
about that.
Because if you have one group that signs up and they're gonna use it the second week of every month, for instance, and you've got another nonprofit in town that needs it for one event or 2 events that they do over the course of the whole year, they can't have it.
I think that what you referenced to, that he's always willing to share. He's always been willing to
But-
share one side.
But I think on the other token of that too now, which has changed in the last few years, is now they're upfronting large amounts of money to hold that, for that repeating. It wasn't, before it was what, $25 to rent it or whatever? 4 or 5 years ago, before we changed it, it was pretty cheap to rent it, the town hall.
The hall's $40.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap, but now you have somebody that's, that has put the money out and for
Cleaning
every month.
deposits and.
Yeah, exactly, cleaning deposits, stuff like that. To me, I really say this with, biting my tongue. It is first come, first serve, and who's got the money in front?
So there's no money to use the hall. There's no money to use the sign.
Correct, but the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I think she's alluding to, there's an organization that has
Oh,
something
Sign-
going on the
thought you meant the hall.
second weekend of the
I
month.
just think
thought you meant the
that
hall.
it should,
From
yeah.
March or April to October.
Right.
And they put their name on the sign, but then if something was to come up, he's always been good about sharing a side.
Yeah, and that's,
Because they have a schedule that he knows of.
and I think, didn't we talk about that before? I want to say maybe it didn't get put down on paper, but I think we discussed that. That does ring a bell, that if there was a conflict, it'd be one side, one side. if I remember correctly.
So who picks the side?
Flip a coin.
First guy. That's what I'd say. First guy that signed up
Yeah,
gets the choice.
gets the choice. North or south? Which side do you want? And then the other side. I mean, like I said, we're not talking a big profit here on the sign usage.
Sign is 0.
0.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a
So-
lot more time than effort
Right.
than it is what you get for money.
So I think that would be that would be whoever signed up first gets the, preference and.
All right, so what do you want to do? Change, just take out that for the rent of the town hall?
I think so. Rest of you guys good with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the corrected one. So you just want to say, number 3 says the sign can accommodate 4 separate events, utilizing both sides with 2 events per side, if the town deems necessary. Separate events.
What, because
Wow.
there's 4 lines.
So you're gonna,
There's 4 lines to each side.
That's gonna get awfully cluttered.
yeah, I don't know that, unless it's something,
I would do 2 events, 2,
one event on each side,
I think you could share 2 events.
if they were,
They were small enough, but definitely not 4. That's way too many.
Well, no, it
Oh,
says it
four-
can
4 per
score,
side.
splitting
2,
2 per side.
2 per side.
if you're gonna do that, there's 4 lines. If you're gonna have 2 of them, limit it to 1 line per event. This way you have a buffer between the 2.
It's hard to,
You can't,
because I used to have a sign down the transfer station with 4 lines on there.
Yeah,
Eh, To get something on 2 lines,
yeah, you can't do
I
it,
don't believe it.
no,
Not gonna happen.
because you're gonna want a date, a time, what the
Yeah,
event
yeah, you gotta have
is,
what it
You run
is,
our real estate.
date, time,
Yeah.
you need at least 3 lines.
yeah.
So what do you want to do with number 3? Because I was just taking out the first sentence and then I tried to read the second sentence.
If that's the case, then just 1 event per side.
Yeah,
One event per
I
side.
think one
One event per side.
side.
And leave number 8, the nonprofit.
Yes, I would. I understand that, well, again, I don't know what the board thinks, but nonprofit is still,
So when they want to rent it for something, are we asking to show nonprofit status?
should be easy enough to do.
Yeah, we all have a.
And if they're
nonprofits.
recurring, you can keep that nonprofit
Yeah.
form on
Right.
You
file.
can go one
But if
line,
it's,
too.
but if it's,
You can go to the Bureau of
right,
Secretary of State.
but if it's, say it's the,
What if it's the pickleball group that wants to say?
right, that's what I'm saying, then,
They're
isn't
not-
there a box on there that says,
They're not a, are they a nonprofit?
no, I don't believe
I don't
it.
think
I
they
don't
even
think
accept
Right.
money.
They're just exactly, so, there has to be a provision box for that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call it.
I don't know what you call it either. Individual or group?
Well, anyone can rent it for any purpose. Rent is not really the right term, but
But the
except for
fee
profit.
structure is different for nonprofit. You still pay the cleaning,
Right.
but the fee
Well,
structure is different.
we're talking the sign.
the sign, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly, we keep
So, I
getting
mean,
distracted back and
you
forth.
gave the baby shower, as an
Example.
example.
They're
What if
not
somebody
gonna-
wanted to actually put it on there?
That's what I was thinking.
Mary's baby shower.
Well, the other thing is, you could have, because people get lost,
Turn here, yeah.
well, you could have such and such shower here, the baby whatever,
Yeah,
and have it on the sign.
I would
Right.
like to put some kind of stipulation, no hanging or attaching of anything to the sign.
Yes.
No balloons,
Plants,
banners,
balloons, yeah.
flashing lights, I don't want any of that stuff on that sign.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything already in there for that, but if
Yeah.
not,
I
there
don't
really
believe
should be.
there is, I think there should be, yeah.
so if the sign isn't being used by a nonprofit and there's somebody having a baby shower, for instance, then they can use the sign?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And I think there should be a box to check that says individual,
just for the day?
individual / group.
Well, even for a weekend, what if it's, bless you.
Bless you. And then,
Because say it's on a Sunday, she's still gonna have to, still gonna have to come get the letters from
On
us.
Friday, yeah.
so,
No, we put it up, remember?
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
putting it up.
right,
Well, so I'll have
But as
to,
long as Naomi's not on
somebody's gonna have to
vacation.
do it on Friday then.
Well, then Karen
Not gonna
does
be
it.
coming up here on weekends doing it.
No, I think people,
well,
they
I'm
don't
just,
need to do it. Because all they can, honestly, they can stick their own little sign right in the grass. We've had people do that too. Somebody's baby shower and balloons attached, so it's not attached to ours.
right,
Usually if you put something out there, that's what you look for.
right, so.
But we can add something about the no attaching
Yeah,
anything to the sign.
especially
I
after
think
we
that's-
just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got that,
no stickers, no balloons, no frickin' nothing.
anything.
Nothing, okay.
Letters only. Town supplied letters only.
Well, we're doing the letters, right?
Right,
So-
but moving forward, we will be
But you
allowing
can
them
come
to
back
get
on a Sunday and
town-
have
yeah.
everything tied to it, and then you get string and,
Yeah, town
Yeah.
letters only.
Yeah.
all right. I think you've made that as
Town
clear as
supplied
can
letters.
be.
Right, town supplied letters only.
And anything found on there will be disposed of promptly. Ricky's gonna drive by and just rip everything off of there.
Well, if you go by and somebody's got a banner up there and some balloons, take it down.
I got a knife.
Yeah.
Pop the balloon.
So everything put there without permission is be disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of town hall, when do we wanna discuss reopening?
Oh, you get the plumbing fixed first.
Yes.
I think we talked about August for September.
Let's get the plumbing fixed first and see where we
Yeah.
go from there.
And probably ought to have somebody come in, do a nice thorough cleaning in there too.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was gonna do, and then I was gonna see, Country 3 has always had somebody come in and sanitize. So once, I would like to do that too.
Yep.
Just because it's been sitting for a long time.
Oh, whatever's in there's dead now, so,
Yeah.
Well,
it should be at least.
or it should have, if it died inside, it's really bad.
Yeah. I'd rather not think that.
RO5, fires UV light.
Yeah, they ain't gonna kill the smell.
Okay, so we'll change that line, we'll add a line to say. Hang on, I'm having reserves here. Why don't we just make, number 3, nothing, it's to attach, because you're not gonna squeeze one more thing on this.
No, that's fine.
This thing here. So this can be number 3, and we'll just change number 3.
I think that's a great idea.
Town administrator's discretion, how's that?
Should have done it before, no, I'm just kidding. She wanted to include you. So that's honestly all I have. You do have one piece of correspondence that you forwarded back in July, or it talked about Tannerite. Did you want to talk about that? You sent it to me. It was back
We
July-
can.
Well,
That was in reference
sent
to
July
Antrim?
3rd, so I just copy it and put it in my bin for tonight.
Oh.
For correspondence, because I wasn't.
That's in
part-
reference to the Antrim article or the
Oh.
article about Antrim in the Messenger, I believe, is where I think I saw the.
So
Well, I
I
don't,
didn't mean to jump ahead.
well, yeah, but
That's
I
all.
don't think we,
Ain't much there.
I don't think we did a whole lot of.
No.
I just forwarded it because you weren't on it.
Right, I wasn't on it.
Right.
And you were the only one, because it came to your personal one.
Oh, it did?
No, I got it also. It
No, I
was-
think it went to board
It ca-
members.
Yeah,
I
it
did.
came.
It went to board
It
members.
was
Forwarded it
somebody
to board
on
members.
Peacock Hill, right?
addressed to individual members, because it was slightly modified per person, because I saw.
That's right,
Ricky's.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I
Just
put you in individually because
Right.
I always get kicked back and you get kicked back when I go to boards.
Yep.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
Perhaps we could have, when she gets back from vacation,
Yeah, really.
Naomi reach out to Antrim and get a copy of it, of what they've got.
They're an actual hard
Do
copy,
they-
not
do
just
they
what's in
have an
Messenger.
approved? Or
Yes.
they- it is
So
approved.
just
Approved.
wait.
We'll just wait, yeah,
So you want me to reach out to Antrim past one?
yeah. And just see what it is in
Yeah.
print, not what the messenger put
Was it
down.
a noise
Up to June
ordinance?
21st.
Tannerite specific ordinance, I
Yeah, it was
believe.
Tannerite.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the fireworks that they dealt with, but at least Tannerite. If we had a hard copy of it, what they, because they tailored
still
theirs
read it.
after some other towns
Yep.
also, so.
I'll still read it, but I know my position's not gonna change on that.
correct.
Leaves me this, which is nothing.
All right, well, I got a few things,
Okay, go for it.
under correspondence of the business.
Okay, well, I just put the,
Huh?
I just put the Antrim one into that.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank DPW, fire, and police for this weekend with the flooding. A lot of road issues. DPW boys were out on Sunday trying to fix up some dirt roads, washouts. I know DOT was down. 114 area. Colby Road flooded, River Road flooded. Like I
Twin
said,
Bridge.
Twin Bridge, big shout out to all of them for dealing with that. I also just want to follow up. We had some public comment a couple weeks ago regarding Meadow Drive, and we as the town sent with legal sent a letter to both parties involved. So, we did follow up on that. And also to, this board, was going to try and reach out to Park to have a meeting with a, member of the public. Has that occurred?
I only talked to the chair, but it was
Okay.
in person,
Okay,
and her answer was no, but
okay,
I'll ask the rest.
okay.
It's
All right.
their prerogative, it's my understanding,
That-
right?
Right.
Yep, mhm.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to follow up and to know that that has not been forgotten, that's all.
Yep.
I think that's about all I had.
Just to inform the public, the voters approved this past year the purchase of a brand-new Chevy Tahoe for police that is now stickered and it in service, so you will be seeing the new Chevy Tahoe out and about.
Nice.
Is it black?
Yeah, just like all the others.
Yeah, but it's got the logo on the side of it.
Yeah, it's in service, though, right?
It is
It's
in
ready to
service.
use,
Yep, went into service Thursday of
Thursday.
last week, I believe.
Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, talking with one of the sergeants over there, it went in.
It went through the parade too, I saw it.
Yes,
Nice.
leading the parade.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I did see it then. I saw it come out, yeah.
Anything?
Hey, I'd just like to thank everybody that came out over the weekend, as I'm part of that committee. We had a very good showing up until about 8 o'clock Saturday night when Mother Nature took
Came in.
over.
Yeah.
But it was very good, very profitable, and we're hoping to have everybody out next year.
Awesome.
I'd like to thank the committee, the Fourth of July committee, because there's a lot of work involved doing that every year.
In a short amount of time.
Yeah, so
And
Awesome.
thank the
And-
committee.
And I'm just gonna add, I think, John, you said it earlier to John, there's still 2 rides over there to get out, and we've talked with Mr. Miller, and he understands things are gonna be fixed. If
Yep.
there's a rut there, it'll be fixed. It's not gonna be left that way.
Right.
So, I just need people to have a little bit of patience. It's still very wet.
Right.
Right, and we really appreciate all the donors that donated towards the celebration. Absolutely, and on that, Naomi, the water spigot by the gazebo, I believe, is still just wire tied. There's
Do you
no
know who
lock.
has there's a lock?
I didn't see it yesterday.
All right.
Yeah.
There is one down the bottom, but the one by the gazebo still had the wire
Is the
ties.
electricity locked up now? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because we had 3 combination locks. They were all the same combination.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
we do it that way so you don't have to buy keys.
right.
You
Yeah.
can just set those.
Yep.
I know we undid the other one, and we hung the lock so
Right.
that it didn't get lost, because it's one of those things.
As of yesterday, the one up by the gazebo still had wire
Zip
ties,
ties,
because some
okay.
kids
They have
were
a
filling
bracket.
up their water squirt guns
Yeah, yeah.
Saturday, so we figured that wasn't quite the use for it.
Maybe it's,
Probably not.
no,
Probably not.
They don't drink it, it's fine.
All right, I actually need to say one thing, too. I'd like to thank, you guys probably saw it in the messenger before we've met. Our barrels got planted, the 9 barrels out here.
Yes.
Got planted, actually, it was the Goffstown Rotary Club?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rotary Club in Goffstown, Robin Morrow called me and they wanted to do something. And that was something that they could do. So they spent a weekend and put plants in the barrels outside of this building. The Historical Society did their own, I guess.
no, I think it was the garden club. I think it was somebody in the garden club did it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't know.
They're
So
they're done.
it got
Yeah.
done anyway.
Yep, they look good.
And I just want to thank them because, you know, we weren't going to get them done probably.
Probably not. Oh, okay, perfect. Anything else?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, everyone.